Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwathim. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. The man you see on the screen here before you, this is the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Last May, in 2023, he made a public service announcement, not only to the citizens of Jamaica, but also the world, that they will be adopting the CBDC system, that's the digital currency, which is essentially preparing the people for the MOTB. Now, why is this important to you? Because within the last few weeks, there was another update that came out regarding their success and or progression, and I'm going to show you the outcome of that too as well. But before I do that, let me grab a few precepts and we'll jump right into this short and this news story. Bear with me 1 second. All right, let's go from there to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 1 through 6, and it reads, "The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, speak to your people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword," and the sword is synonymous with destruction, and I shared this sentiment on this channel several times. If you take the mark outlined in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, which is the sea hip, you are going to be destroyed. But we as the men of the Lord have a duty to continuously give you warnings and also updates. I'm going to start over. When I bring the sword against the land, and the people of the land choose one of their own men and make him their watchman, and he sees the sword coming. You see, the scriptures tell us to measure the time diligently. So when we see these things, these updates, we have to continuously bring you warnings to let you know, hey, this mark is right around the corner. They're progressively moving forward with this, right? And he sees the sword coming against the land and blows the trumpet to warn the people. Then, if anyone hears the trumpet but does not heed the warning, and the sword comes and takes their life, their blood will be on their own head. Since they heard the sound of the trumpet but did not heed the warning, their blood will be on their own head. If they had heeded the warning, they would have saved themselves. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet to warn the people, and the sword comes and takes someone's life, that person's life will be taken because of their sins. But I will not hold the watchman accountable for their blood. You see? Now let me come out of this. Let me go to the Prime Minister's own words from Jamaica. Listen and watch closely.
In the coming weeks and days, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon, this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines. I don't want it to be a scary thought, but it is a thought that we all have to embrace.
You see, this man here, he's preparing you for destruction. I don't know if you caught that mid statement. Let me rewind this back a bit. He stated that the ministers of congregations are also in line and in sync too as well. Let me be clear about something. You're going to be able to pay your tithes and your offerings by the swipe of your hand, because you're going to have that mark that's referred to in Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Let me see if I can play that back one more time, Akim. Bear with me 1 second.
Put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations.
You heard what he said? We've given direction to our ministers to digitalize their operations. As you can see here, in the caption, it states, most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based. Let me go back to the scriptures here. Let me come out of this. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, in the 7th through the 9th verse. And it reads, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth, and warn them from me. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou doest not speak the warning to the wicked, to turn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his wicked way, to turn from it, if he doeth not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. And that's why we continuously talk about these topics, because we're getting the blood off of our hands. Now, I want to share that update that I talked about earlier. Listen closely to what this man has to say here.
We need to start as a society getting some people paid if they're receiving their payments in CBDC. We need to start as a society getting some people paid if they're receiving their payments in CBDC. Then the ecosystem will evolve, which makes a lot of sense. The question is, who's going to start getting paid that way? And to kickstart that process, there is talk of, maybe, finding some employee base, presumably in the public sector, that would have some percentage of their pay coming in CBDC. And then
You can tell the way this guy is floundering about in his explanation. He knows more than what he's leading on, right? He's not going to divulge everything. He's tap dancing, and he's going to talk about these things in a roundabout way. But nevertheless, let's proceed.
And the argument would go, the other thing that's needed is more banks who've expressed that they are going to launch a CBDC wallet to actually launch it.
To some company news now.
I'll stop there because that's what I wanted to share. Also, I have another precept to finish up here. It tells us this here. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 through 9, it tells us, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. You see, this is already being worked out by Esau, Edom, by the elite. They're ironing out all the wrinkles, all the kinks, all the nooks and the crannies, okay? And the Lord, he's going to make sure that it's done, that it's completed, because all prophecies have to be fulfilled. Reading on, it states, only he who letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. You see, the Lord wants it to happen. He's putting the Spirit on them to bring prophecies into fruition. And then shall the wicked be revealed. See, then when this comes into fruition, everyone's going to know that Esau, Edom, as outlined in the book of Malachi, is the border of wickedness. He's a devil in the flesh, all right? Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And see, and that's what this CHIP, the MOTB, is going to be. It's going to be a sign and a lying wonder. All right? Hopefully this was helpful. Shalom.